Well, Janelle, it looks like Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has been put on pause indefinitely, or at least for the foreseeable future. So we know that ABC has scrapped, or for now, just kind of iced Taylor Frankie Paul's season of The Bachelorette. But now we know that Secret Lives of Mormon Wives season 5 production was placed on pause, but it looks like it's not getting the pause lifted anytime soon. So Jeff Jenkins Production seems to be doing some sort of private investigation themselves, looking into some of the claims that have been made by cast members, according to TMZ. Uncertain what those claims may be, if that's directly related to Taylor and Dakota, but it kind of seems like there's a lot more going on with production and some new allegations that may have been brought to light with production that is preventing cameras from getting picked back up again. I don't know if this has to do with Jesse and Jordan, because that divorce seems to be getting messy, but I don't know when cameras for Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is going to be picking up. Cameras are going to be picking up again. I predicted this, a few days ago. I was like, wow, this whole empire is completely being dismantled. Dad Talk seems to be doing a huge disservice from leaking the video, which we don't know if it was someone from Dad Talk or it was Dakota or not. Jesse, in today's interview with Alex Cooper, seems to think that it possibly was Dakota or somebody related to Dakota. And then we see how messy this divorce is getting with Jordan. We see Zach, who was attacking production a few days ago. So at this point, it kind of feels like the empire of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
All right, let's talk about something that's quietly becoming one of the most fascinating reality TV experiments happening right now. Because on the surface, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives looks like just another reality show about friendships, relationships, and influencer drama. But if you actually slow down and look at what's really happening, you start to realize this show is about something much bigger than messy group chats and viral TikTok moments. It's about image, identity, and what happens when people who built their lives around social media suddenly have their reality turned into television.
This video is for Bachelor Nation because I can't be the only person who feels this way. I have yet to watch the new season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, but I saw the spoiler where Taylor does get with Dakota the night before she flies out to film The Bachelorette. Now, I for one have always said, while her life has been incredibly messy, she does seem to have somewhat of a good head on her shoulders. And it's very clear that I was completely wrong, because what is this? Apparently, while filming season 5 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, they have put production on pause because of Taylor and Dakota. TMZ is saying that there was a heated blow up between two of the main cast members, and go on to say that sources connect to the series tell us production is currently shut down after drama with the show star Taylor Frankie Paul and her baby daddy Dakota erupted while filming season 5, causing cameras to go down for the time being. Now, as someone who has been watching The Bachelor and Bachelorette since 2007 and hasn't stopped, this is frustrating for me. Every single time they choose a bachelorette, I say I need somebody with a lot of spice, a lot of sass, a lot of personality, because those bachelorettes tend to be my favorite. And while they did not choose a contestant and went out of their way to choose somebody who had nothing to do with the show, I was excited because Taylor Frankie Paul fits the mold. Of course, there were a lot of skeptical people saying she is not ready to be the bachelorette, and I said, well, let's just give her a chance. Obviously, she is done filming the season. She is now back home. I would assume she's likely engaged and picked a guy, unless she decided not to pick someone and wasted everybody's time. But if she picked a guy, what are we doing? Well, yes, I love the drama on The Bachelorette. I still watch it hoping that there's true love, even though most of them don't usually work out. But knowing that all of this nonsense is happening is really frustrating. I also did hear that we're getting way too much dad talk on season 4, which is incredibly irritating. The show is called Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. We don't want that. Taylor, for the love of God, please get it together.
And that's exactly what happened with the MomTok community. What started as a group of Mormon mothers sharing family life, marriage advice, and lifestyle content on TikTok quickly turned into a massive online following. Millions of people became fascinated with the contrast between traditional expectations and modern influencer culture. And once that audience grew big enough, producers saw something that reality television has always been looking for, a real community with real relationships and built-in drama. That's how The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives was born.
It is now being reported that members of the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives cast are refusing to film with Taylor Frankie Paul, and that's part of the reason why production is on pause. Here is what's being said. So news just broke that the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives Season 5 paused filming because of an alleged incident between Taylor Frankie Paul and Dakota. And more details keep coming out about what is allegedly going on, including details about how the other Mormon wives are allegedly dealing with this situation. So this is coming from a source close to the situation, not one of the ladies, so everything is alleged. A source spoke to People magazine and shared that they kind of all decided as a unit that they're taking the production pause. They don't want to film right now. The girls are very overwhelmed. They all banded together and they don't want to come back right now. They were just getting tired of Taylor, honestly. The source also said that none of the women want to be associated with her. Then the last bit that the source said was, I don't think they care about her really right now. They're just kind of like, we're done for right now.
But here's where things start to get interesting. Because the moment cameras enter real friendships, everything changes. Conversations that used to happen privately suddenly become storylines. Disagreements that might have been handled quietly suddenly turn into scenes. And the people involved have to start balancing two identities at the same time. They're living their real lives, but they're also characters in a show that millions of people are watching. That tension is at the center of the entire series. And no one represents that tension more than Taylor Frankie Paul. Her rise to fame through TikTok and MomTok made her one of the most recognizable faces in the group, but it also meant that when things went wrong in her life, those moments were amplified in a way that most people never experience. Suddenly, personal conflicts, relationship issues, and legal problems weren't just private struggles anymore, they were public conversations. Things escalated in early 2026 when production on the show's 5th season was suddenly halted after a major conflict involving Taylor and her ex-partner, Dakota Mortensen. Reports surfaced about a domestic dispute between the two, and the situation quickly became serious enough that filming had to stop while everyone tried to understand what was happening. What makes this moment unusual for reality television is that the cast themselves reportedly pushed for the pause. They didn't want to process the situation for the first time while cameras were rolling. They wanted time to understand the facts before reacting publicly. That decision says a lot about the kind of pressure reality TV creates. When people sign up for these shows, they know their lives will be visible. But when something genuinely serious happens, the line between storytelling and real life becomes extremely thin. The cast reportedly felt that continuing to film while the situation was still unfolding would have forced them to react in ways that might not reflect how they truly felt. But here's where the story takes another twist. Even though production paused, several members of the MomTok group have hinted that filming could resume soon. Some of them have even joked online about being ready to get back to work. And that creates a fascinating dynamic, because in reality television, drama rarely ends the show. Most of the time, it becomes the show. That's the strange paradox of modern reality TV. Viewers tune in because they want authenticity. They want to feel like they're seeing real people and real emotions. But the moment real life becomes too complicated or too serious, the show has to decide whether to pause, adapt, or incorporate the situation into the storyline. And in most cases, once cameras start rolling again, the drama becomes part of the narrative. What makes The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives even more unique is the fact that these women are influencers first and reality stars second. Unlike traditional reality TV casts who disappear between seasons, these women continue sharing their lives online every single day. That means the story isn't limited to what happens on Hulu. It unfolds on TikTok, Instagram, podcasts, and interviews. In other words, the show never truly stops. And that constant visibility changes everything. Imagine going through a breakup, an argument with friends, or a personal crisis while knowing that millions of people are watching your every move. Online, every decision gets analyzed, every comment becomes a headline, every disagreement gets turned into speculation. That kind of pressure can change how people behave. Some people withdraw from the spotlight when things get difficult. Others lean into it and turn the attention into content. And sometimes people start performing a version of themselves that fits the story audiences expect to see. That's the challenge that comes with living in the world of influencer-driven reality television. there's also a deeper cultural element at play here. Mormon culture has long been associated with strong family values, community structure, and a certain level of privacy about personal life. So when a reality show openly explores complicated friendships, relationship conflicts, and personal mistakes within that community, it naturally sparks strong reactions. Some viewers see the show as refreshing honesty, others see it as a distortion of a culture that values discretion and tradition, and that tension fuels the conversation around the series. People aren't just watching for the drama, they're watching to understand what's real and what's narrative. Because that's the biggest question surrounding shows like this. Are we watching reality, or are we watching a carefully edited version of reality designed to keep us engaged? The truth is, it's usually both. The emotions are real, the friendships are real, the conflicts are real. But the way those moments are presented is shaped by editing, storytelling, and the needs of a television audience. And The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives seems to understand that balance better than most shows. The cast knows that viewers are interested in their lives not just because of who they are, but because of what their stories represent. They represent the collision between tradition and modern social media culture. They represent the challenges of maintaining friendships under public scrutiny. And they represent how quickly everyday life can become entertainment once cameras enter the room. Because when you really step back and look at the bigger picture, that's what this show's about. It's about how quickly ordinary people can become public figures. It's about how social media can turn private communities into global conversations. And it's about how difficult it becomes to separate your real life from your public identity once millions of people are invested in your story. These women didn't originally plan to become reality TV personalities. They were sharing their lives online. But once the audience grew, once producers saw the potential for a show, and once cameras became part of the equation, everything changed. Friendships became storylines, arguments became episodes, personal struggles became public discussion topics, and when something serious happens, like the conflict that paused production earlier this year, it reminds everyone involved that there's still a real life behind the storyline. That's why the show's pause was so significant. It showed that even in a genre built around drama, there are moments when the people involved need to step back and remember that their lives are bigger than the show. But at the same time, the possibility of filming resuming suggests something else entirely. It suggests that the story isn't over. And in reality television, stories rarely stay paused for long. Eventually the cameras return, the conversations happen, the narrative continues. Because whether viewers realize it or not, that's the real secret behind The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It's not just about friendships, scandals, or viral TikTok moments. It's about how modern fame works. It's about how real lives and entertainment have become impossible to separate. And once that line disappears, everything becomes part of the story. That is the reality check.